first of all, we are extremely thankful for Center for Development and Policy and Practice for affording us this opportunity of presenting our paper on technological policy intervention in NREGA and workers' right to employment. Through this paper, we have tried to highlight how in the recent past the government is trying to dismantle this entire scheme, which basically entitle the rural villagers with the right to work. And through these policy technological interventions such as ABPS, such as NMMS, these policies have created a havoc on the people, and these policies have been introduced without having a very basic understanding at the ground level. So we have categorized this paper into 4 parts, where we will be discussing how NMS app, ABPS system has created a problem for the people, how the government has centralized this entire scheme, which goes against the very purpose of the act, which makes it a very decentralized at the grassroots level. And then we will put forward the suggestions which can be taken into consideration. So now I would request my partner and co-author Rajshekhar to begin with the slides. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Rajshekhar. I am co-authoring this paper. So talking about the technological intervention, before that we need to talk about the status of the MGNREGA in the country right now. And it's very important to talk about the poor budgetary allocation in the program over the past few years, which has a very important role in functioning the whole program in the country. So in the last 1 decade, India has witnessed a sharp decline in all social security schemes, including MGNREGA. This year, there have been a decline of more than 30%, despite having over 16,000 crores of pending wages. This year's allocation have been only 60,000 crore rupees. With this small amount of budget for the entire financial year for the whole country, it will be impossible to continue guaranteed 100 days of work. If the government ensures to give guaranteed employment to the workers, the amount of budget we have, it cannot exceed for more than 2 weeks. And this poor allocation is leading to further issues to the workers, like massive delays of payment and inadequate amount of work. So here, the poor budgetary allocation has a very strong relation with the technological intervention which we are seeing in the program. And this poor budgetary allocation is being ignored and kind of getting validated with the introduction of these ill-suited technologies and their intervention. So now Asif will move forward and will take you to the issues which we have talked about in this paper and which are related to the technological interventions. So Asif, over to you.
So thank you, Raj. So the another important aspect that we are going to cover is that current technological intervention and attempt exclusion. So basically, the government of India in 2021 conducted a pilot at Alwar, Rajasthan, and assessed the efficacy of NMMS app, that is National Mobile Monitoring System app, that is a digital attendance system app. And they made it mandatory by by 2022, they made it mandatory. And subsequently, they introduced Aadhaar-based payment system. Initially, it was introduced somewhere in 2017, but the government of India issued a notification in January 23 and made it mandatory from the very first, February. So just 2 days after issuing the notification, the system was mandatory. That means the people whose account was not linked, the laborers whose account was not linked with the Aadhaar-based system, was not entitled to receive the payment. And this resulted the denial to the people of their hard-earned wages. As per the reply by the government of India in July in the parliament, still 14 crores people out of total 14 crore active workers, 20% workers are still there whose accounts have not been seeded with Aadhaar. So the Another problem that is there is that the very right to livelihood of the people. Supreme Court in Olga Telly's case in 1985 said that the right to livelihood is a fundamental right. But because of these intervention, because NMMS, what NMMS app is doing, people are working for more number of days, but they are getting less attendance because of the fact that in many parts of the country there is no internet connectivity. Take for example the tribal areas of Jharkhand, or the tribal area of Rajasthan, the Mount Abu district, or for example the Belgaum, which is in Karnataka, which is completely a forested district. These are some of the examples where there is no network. People are working hard, but they are not getting attendance. Since they are not getting attendance, so they are not getting the payment. So therefore, this is resulting in the violation of their right to life and dignity. So this is a very very complete situation, which is very gross violation of their right to work across the entire country. May I request Raj to move second slide. Another important aspect is that this entire system has been created as a surveillance mechanism. So, see, for example, what we have seen, the entire workforce of the NREGA workers, they are being seen as a criminal. They are being treated as these are the people who are, the corrupt people, and therefore everything has been imposed on them. So, the British cyber security expert Simon Davis has very famously remarked that most of the times biometric interventions or experiments are happening on the people who are in the capacity that they can't resist. So this is what happening with the people of the workers, because if they have to earn the money, they have to in any case have to concede to the very idea that yes, they will get their pictures click at the work site. They will have to run from post to pillars to get their job card, their Aadhaar, their bank account mapped with each other, and then they'll have to map it with the NCPI. So this is very important. Another important aspect is that now the MORD has also issued directions to the state to monitor the work of the NREGA workers through the drone. So see, this is the gross situation where only the problem is with the corruption is at the bureaucracy or at the government level. The marginal workers are not the corrupt. They are not in a position to say anything, but they are being surveilled, they are being denied the right to dignity, right to privacy. And the West Bengal case is quite peculiar because the people in West Bengal since December 2021 have not been paid a single penny. So the question comes, why the poor people are being, denied their rights, their hard-earned money. If there is a problem in between the center and the state, they should have to settle it. But the people should not suffer. So this is nothing but a technological hegemony, and this is basically a technocratic solutionism which is being imposed on the workers. Now, again, I hand over to the Raj to take further for the end of this session.
So after this, it's very important to talk about the politics to introduce any kind of technology or in the name of transparency or accountability, which is acting as a technocracy, which we call basically not taking any advice from those people, not taking any kind of consent from the people to whom you are imposing all such things. And it's very important to talk about the term technocracy, technological intervention in a welfare state. So what we are seeing right now in NREGA, the MGNREGA program, is an attempt to dismantle the local governance and the social accountability mechanism within the NREGA, which NREGA advocates as well. So with the introduction of all kinds of technology, we are seeing an attempt to centralize the program, and everything now with the help of technology is getting run from Delhi to the across the country. Talking about the technology here, it's very important to talk about the access of technology. Who has these access? When we talk about corruption or say any kind of malpractices in terms of talking about this program, it is a problem which is related to the society, and it's a social problem. And the technological access is still in the hands of power groups. When we talk about MGNREGA, it's related to the power groups held in villages. Therefore, the threat to newer forms of corruption with the help of technology is more with these type of attempts. And the issue of corruption cannot be solved alone with technology. There are certain ways which involves community, which involves people's participation, and which involves participatory democracy to cure all these evils which we are facing for the last many decades since independence. When we talk about the solution to all this crisis, it's very important to implement effective social audit units across the country within the MGNREG program. So, and it's very important to talk about social audits status currently. The union government has weaponized the lack of social audits to withhold funds for MGNREGA, because for the last few years in many states and by the Ministry of Rural Development, social audit budgets have not been issued. But and it's also very important how social audit can be the actual cure for the problems like corruptions or the problem of non-implementation, because it involves people and it involves the actual accountability and transparency of whatever is happening through these programs. It's also very important to talk about the establishment of infrastructure before introducing any new forms of technology in the program. If we talk about MGNREGA and we are talking about the rural India, it's very important to deal with the problem of lack of banks in the rural India. We know that the demographical situation of banks in rural India is an important thing to be dealt of, but we haven't dealt with that. We are seeing that in villages, the number of banks are very less as compared to the population, as compared to the loads the banks are going through, which is creating a big problem within this as well. We talk about the Aadhaar-based payment system. It is connected with the banks, and it's have a kind of a situation right now in the villages. And technology is an important tool to make ease for the workers, to ease the implementation for its efficient and effective working. And but it should not be used as a tool to exclude or deny justice, which is currently being used in a very uh, larger sense. Because what we are seeing is that over the past few decades, people have raised voices to ensure their rights, and now to exclude them from their rights, these technology is becoming as an hurdle. Any emergence of technology to ease the process must ensure the autonomy of local governance as a priority into this. What we are seeing today is the denial of local governance, panchayats, into any of these uh, newer kind of interventions. A centralized approach in the functioning of program needs to be stopped, because when we talk about NREGA, it has always talked about the decentralized approach, which has a very strong relation with the effective establishment of democratic values as well. So the centralized approach cannot work with a program like NREGA or any kind of a welfare programs which the government of India runs. So, this we are trying to conclude our presentation. Asif, if you want to speak.
So thank you, Raj. And with this, we conclude our presentation.